the studio is 12:31 in Edison, New Jersey. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas, and live in the studios of Edison, New Jersey, Radio Zindagi. Let me go ahead and welcome my friend, my co-host, my mentor, Amarnath. Amarnath, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Amit. It's a pleasure being here.
And usually it's the other way around. Amarnath, you say that it's raining or it's something here, but it's been raining here in Houston for the last 3 days.
Yeah, we are having beautiful sunny weather here.
Rub it in, my friend, rub it in.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's also my great pleasure to introduce our guest in the studio today. Both Amarnath and I go way back in knowing this gentleman, and today I am just delighted. I am so happy, and I'm really happy for our listeners, Amarnath, that he has taken time out of his busy schedule to come to the studios and talk to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and welcome the co-founder and the president of the United States of America Association of Cricket Officials, Mr. Deepak Katte. Deepak, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Amit, and thank you, Mr. Amarnath, for having me here on the show. It's a pleasure.
And those of us who are involved in cricket in the tri-state area, Deepak Katte is a very, very familiar face. You cannot miss Deepak. Such a tall guy. You know, he's always seen officiating, and what he has done to our community and the cricketing community, he has brought some kind of sanity, Amarnath.
Absolutely.
In bringing the officials back into the game again.
Yes. Umpiring is generally a thankless job, but there are some wonderful individuals who take the lead in taking up that thankless job. And Deepak Katte is one of those rare individuals who takes that initiative. And for an umpire, he does have an imposing presence. And that is very...
Yes, it does. You don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah. So when he says a batsman is out, the batsman better leave the crease.
Yeah, I'll be a little scared to even give a stare at him, man. But
Yes.
all jokes apart, Deepak. Now, over the years, we have known you. You have been involved in locally in terms of getting umpires certified. Now, recently, you have collaborated with a very, very good governing body. Why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know about your new affiliation with ECB?
Thank you, Amit. Thanks again for giving me this opportunity. My co-founders, Ram Raghu and Paul Green, always had this passion of doing something meaningful for umpires in the local cricketing community. So, with that in mind, no cricket game can be successful or enjoyable for any participant unless you have good umpires. So, what we did was we approached ECB ACO, which stands for English Cricket Board Association of Cricket Officials, which is the largest umpires and scorers body in the world. It has about 9,500 plus members who are scattered all over the world. And with ECB being one of the top three cricketing nations with their affiliation strongly with ICC, it helped us to be able to sort of convince them about our passion of improving the umpiring and scoring in United States. So they shared our passion and they decided that we can be affiliated with them. So what we have done since 2014 is that we have conducted training programs for umpires and scorers in United States. You could be wherever in United States, and matter of fact, I have somebody from India who's part of our program thanks to the technology. So they can enroll onto our program. The program is devised by ECB ACO. All the training materials, the student workbook that comes in, it's all ECB ACO materials. We facilitate the training program here. So our 2017 training program starts from 22nd of January, and it's going to go over about 6 weeks. That culminates with an examination. Again, the examination is online, and the examination comes from the ECB. Huge thanks to our mentor in ECB ACO, Mr. Peter McKenzie, as well as the CEO of the ECB ACO, Mr. Nick Cousins. They have stood by us. They have given us all the tools that are needed. They share our passion, and it's wonderful to be associated with them.
Go ahead, Amarnath. You had something to add?
No. It's very good to know that you are bringing structure to the difficult task of umpiring. By aligning yourself with ECB, you're making sure that there is a proper benchmark set for how umpires should be trained. Because given that, if I can use the term, USA is an emerging market in cricket. And it's good to take the best practices from a developed market like England, ECB, to get the necessary know-how and the necessary benchmark to set the standards.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100% on that. It's a very structured program, and people, when they come out of this course and then go onto the field, they are very confident in what they do as an umpire, and that sets the tone for the entire game. And the leagues and the teams who involve these umpires are pretty happy about it, and that gives us a satisfaction.
How many courses have you conducted so far?
As of 2017, this is our third season. We have about 3 batches of umpires level 1 program, and we have conducted 1 batch of umpires level 1A, which is an advanced course. Just wanted to add one more comment to this one. See, besides just learning umpiring and writing the examinations and things like that, what the ECB has done, ECB-ACO has done for us is that they have given opportunity for 4 of our umpires to go to UK and umpire in the ECB-ACO games.
That's incredible.
And this is something that unheard of in this part of the world. What we have, an umpire exchange program is a great concept. You not only get to go to the foreign country and officiate in leagues that are outside of your comfort zone. See, it's a lot easier for me to go to some game here in the local league and umpire because it's all a known entity. But when you go to a foreign country, you don't know who your colleague is. You don't know what the playing conditions are, and you don't know what to expect from. And these challenges, when you overcome that, that gives a lot of advantage in terms of your umpiring profile.
Now, Deepak, please tell us a little bit more about the umpires that you have that are currently officiating in UK. And I believe you had sent me an email the other day saying that one of your umpires is also in Auckland, in New Zealand.
Yes. Thanks to Mr. Deepak Katte, who is a former international umpire and who was a former umpires manager for ICC for about 4 or 5 years in Dubai. He again, sort of saw where our passion was, and then, he stepped forward to help us out. So we had 2 of our umpires, Mr. Winston D'Souza and Miss Jennifer D'Souza, go to Auckland, and they umpired in the games that are conducted by the Auckland Cricket. It's a fantastic.
Now, Deepak, these matches, are they, for example, in UK, are they the county matches or the international level matches? What kind of matches are these?
These matches, you have people going in there, and the matches that they are scheduled to sort of officiate in are based on their experience and knowledge. So it could be anywhere between a county 11 game, which is the second highest, one level below the county game, as opposed to a school game. Mm-hmm. So depends on the person going in there and their level of experience.
Now, Deepak, if any of our listeners are interested in joining your association, they want to get certified as an umpire, where do they go? Who do they contact? And what are some of the things that they need to do to make sure that some of the prerequisites are done?
To join for a level 1 course, you don't need any prerequisite other than having passion in learning umpiring. They can contact us on our website, which is USAACO.org, or they can send me an email, president@USAACO.org, and I would be happy to send them the application and the next steps in terms of the certification process.
Now, Amarnath, we'll make sure to put this information on our Facebook page and our blog, also fulltosscricket.com.
Absolutely.
We'll have this information readily available there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi, 1600 AM in New York, 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas, and live in the studios of Radio Zindagi in Edison, Amarnath, and we have Deepak Katte with us, and a big hello to Jiten Shukla. Jiten is also helping us out managing the board, so a big hello to you as well, Jiten. Friends, phone number in the studio is 848-444 848-444-1600 is the phone number in the studio. If you have any questions for Deepak Katte, give us a call. We'll put you on air. You can ask any kind of umpiring questions you have, or if you have any questions regarding his program, give us a call, 848-444-1600. Amanat, there's plenty of cricket action happening around the globe as we speak. And first and foremost, I really want to talk about a game just recently concluded. India women's team just won the Asia Cup, defeating Pakistan. So congratulations to India women's team for winning this cup.
Sure. It's really remarkable that India won the match against Pakistan. It was a very close game, and it is really a big feat for the Indian women's cricket.
And Mithali Raj was she was adjudged as the man of the, well, I should say a woman of the match and woman of the series yet. But she performed superbly. But it was the Indian bowlers who really supported Mithali Raj's captaincy. The way they bowled, Jhulan Goswami, Bisht and others, they really contributed well. At one point, Pakistan were 75 for 3, and they looked like they were on a cruise control.
True.
Before wickets started tumbling, and like a constrictor, the scoring was totally choked, and India was able to win this match. So congratulations to women's team for getting this victory.
Sure.
And also, Amanat, there's another match that recently ended, was Australia versus New Zealand, the first one-day international, where Steve Smith scored a brilliant 164, helped his team win the first ODI.
It was a captain's knock, and that's the reason why they recovered from a poor start and set up a very challenging total of 324, which prevented New Zealand from winning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to take a short break. We'll be right back after these short messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned with us. You're listening to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi with Amit Amanat, and we have a guest in the studio, Mr. Deepak Katte. And we'll be talking to Deepak as the show goes on. So stay with us. We'll be right back after these short messages from our sponsors. Welcome back, friends. You're tuned into Full Toss on Radio Zindagi 1600 AM in New York, 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas. It is 11:48 here in Houston, and it's 12:48 in Edison, New Jersey. With me in the studio, Amanat, and we have a special guest with us today from the United States of America Association of Cricket Officials, Mr. Deepak Katte. Deepak, thank you so much for taking time out from your busy schedule and joining us on this show today.
Thanks
good to have you with us in the studio, Deepak.
Thanks for having me, Amit and Amarnath.
And a quick hello to Jitain as well. Jitain, I know you have always been the silent partner. He's just waving everyone, so that's we are assuming that we'll be saying hello to him also. But Amanat, I just quickly want to get into your fundamental analysis for Australia and New Zealand. But before you do that, if you can just quickly let our listeners know how your analysis is different than what we see on television.
Okay. Normally on television, they'll tell you how many overs are left, how many runs per over is needed. They rarely tell you how many wickets are at hand and how that impacts the chase for the chasing team. So this is actually not an easy thing. It's a simple math problem of computing resources. So I've come up with what's called the resource clock index. And based on the resource clock index, we see whether the resource clock runs out or not. New Zealand had to score 325 in 50 overs with 10 wickets in hand. And at any point of time, they're either scoring runs or losing wickets or doing both. And the resource clock gets used based on that. So let us look at the end of 17 overs. Why do I look at 17 overs? That's my first mile marker. Because 1/3 of the chase is over. New Zealand had scored 80 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. At that stage, by my resource clock, they had used, they still had 71% of their resources available, but they had to chase 75% of the target. They had 75% of the target, but they had only 71% resource. So they are behind the clock. That's what I would call, they are behind the clock by not too much, by 6%. By 6%, they are behind the clock. And soon, New Zealand picked up the score, and when they reached, say, at the end of 23 overs, they had managed to reach parity, I would say. They had scored at 137 for 3. They were still in the hunt. But once wickets started falling for New Zealand, though their scoring rate was good, their wicket falling rate impacted them. And we could see, now let us go forward to the over number 34. At over number 34, it was 186 for 5. At 186 for 5, they were behind the resource clock significantly. They had only about 35% of the resources to score 43% of the target. 35-43. Now that is about your shortfall of about 23%. It's difficult to make up 23% when you have lost 5 wickets. So the game was almost over, and it very, very quickly showed with 5 wickets gone, when they tried to accelerate, they started losing wickets and they lost by a very significant margin. The resource clock index is a very good indicator at which stage the momentum shifts in terms of one team or the other. Okay, over to you, Amit.
Amarnath, and just friends, if you missed this match completely, here's a quick look at the scorecard. Australia batting first scored 324 in response. New Zealand were bundled out for 256. Martin Guptill, he scored 114. By the way, Amarnath, you and I had discussed Guptill in length during the India series also, and a little before that as well, but and how he was struggling. So I was really glad to see Guptill getting a century here, getting his lost form back.
Yes.
I was very happy to see that.
But the disappointment for New Zealand was Williamson. Yes. Williamson has been targeted by the Australians. They want to get him out as early as possible. Go
ahead, Deepak, you have something to add.
Yes, I was going to say the catch that Steve Smith took of BJ Watling, I think that was probably the catch of the year in my view.
Yes, it was the catch of the year. I agree with you. I'm glad you brought that up.
At a very crucial point where BJ Watling could have, had a free hand, I mean, that catch came in as something that probably put New Zealand in the backseat. So
yeah.
Actually, that made a very big difference. As they say, catches win matches. If Watling had stayed on, Guptill was in good form, and they too could have accelerated and taken the game away from Australia. Finally, those are all pivotal moments.
Now I'm going to bring the show right back to Deepak Katte. Deepak, you grew up in India. What part of India did you grow up in?
I'm from Bangalore. I was born and brought up in Bangalore. So Bangalore has always been my passionate city. I come in with a little bit of background with cricket umpiring. I had a couple of my relatives who stood in test matches for India.
The only father-son combination to test match umpire for India. Vijay Sarathi and M.V. Nagendra.
So as a kid growing up, we always went to the cricket games thanks to them. And, one thing that always stood up to me was if you were an umpire, you could have somebody like G.R. Vishwanath or Sunil Gavaskar come and talk to you. So that was when sort of the passion for umpiring kicked in and said, I have to be an umpire somewhere. So
you just took care of my next question to you, but I was going to ask you exactly what made you take umpiring.
So, yes.
So he has it in his DNA.
Now, let me ask you something now, Deepak. Your kids are growing up. Your kids are born and brought up here also. Are your kids into the game of cricket?
First of all, for whatever I do as far as cricket is concerned, I think it's a huge thanks to my wife and my kids and family. They have borne the brunt of, that my time away from the family. I mean, I really have to thank my wife and kids for it. One thing that my son is passionate about is also to play cricket. And, he and I play some backyard cricket when the weather is good. But that apart, my two daughters are a little bit away from cricket for now. They're heavily into studies.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll soon have to take a quick break. But meanwhile, Amit, go ahead.
Yes, friends, you're tuned into Full Toss on Radio Zindagi. Stay tuned. We'll take some we'll play some messages from our sponsors, and when we come back, I have a little bit more questions for Mr. Deepak Katte. We'll talk about that, and I also have our segment This Day in Cricket. So when we come back, we'll talk about that. Stay tuned with us. You are listening to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi, 1600 AM in New York, 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. Stay tuned, friends. We'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. You're tuned into Full Toss on Radio Zindagi, 1600 AM in New York, 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. RadioZindagi.com is where you can listen to us live on internet. Like us on Facebook, Radio Zindagi New York. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas. And live in the studios of Radio Zindagi in Edison, New Jersey, I have my co-host, my friend, my mentor, Amarnath. And we have a very special guest in the studio. We have Mr. Deepak Katte of United States of America Association of Cricket Officials. Deepak and Amarnath, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Amit.
We bring back one of our segments, one of our very old segments back, Amarnath, and that is called This Day in Cricket.
Okay, go ahead.
So here goes the birthdays now. Born December 4th, 1858, Billy Gunn, North England English batsman who played 11 tests between 1886 and 99. That's Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn.
Also born December 4th, 1910, dashing Indian all-rounder of 30s. Any guesses, Amarnath?
Amar Singh?
You got it, buddy. Amar Singh.
Yes. I got
Also born December 4th, 1912, Leicestershire Chinaman bowler who died, who didn't represent Australia, but he played Jack Walsh. Jack Walsh, he was born on December 4th. December 4th, 1915, Australian pace bowler who played only one test in 1946, Fred Freer.
Fred Freer, okay.
Fred Freer, born December 4th, 1935. English left-arm pace bowler who played 5 tests between 1964 and 1965, Fred Rumsey.
Yes, Fred Rumsey. I remember him quite well because in the 60s I followed those matches.
Also born December 4th, 1961. He played only one ODI for USA versus Australia in 2004. Donovan Blake. He's celebrating his birthday also, so happy birthday to Donovan. Amarnath next. Born December 4th, 1977. The record-breaking bowler in ODIs. 5 ducks in a row in test. Any guesses, my friend?
You mean the great Agarkar?
Yes, sir, that is
it. He collected so many ducks and he didn't have place to keep them.
So also celebrating birthday today is Ajit Agarkar, also the Pakistani fast test bowler from 1996. Shahid Nazir, who was born in 1977 and 1979, born December 4th. Oh. Tim McIntosh, the New Zealand test batsman.
Okay. We may soon have to close down the show for this week. Go ahead, Amit.
Friends, it has been a wonderful show so far. I'm really happy to have Mr. Deepak Katte. Deepak, please, whenever you have time in future also, do come in. Do come in our studios, do talk to us, and do talk to our listeners. Before we sign off, quickly give out information as to where people can contact you if they want to be part of this association and if they want to get certified to be an umpire.
Thank you again, Amit, and thank you, Amarnath. Thank you, Jatin, for having me online. It was really a great pleasure to be here. I can be reached at my email, which is president@usaaco.org, or you can call me at 732-762-9043. And again, I look forward to having more people from different parts of the country so that cricket can prosper. Thank you again.
Thanks, Deepak. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into Full Toss on Radio Zindagi. I also want to thank Jitin Shukla for helping us out for this broadcast. Above all, Amarnath, thank you so much for your time and your efforts and the energy that you brings in. It just makes it much more interesting. Till then, next friends, we'll be back here next Sunday afternoon, 12:30. Have a fantastic weekend.